Fanny.
Uh, this husband and wife attend a small church service at the local church one Sunday morning, and the man was really moved by the preacher's sermon. So he stops to shake the preacher's hand. He says, "Rev, that's the best damn sermon I ever did hear. And the Reverend says, well, thank you, sir, but please, I'd appreciate it if you didn't use profanity in the Lord's house." "Oh, I'm sorry, Reverend. I just can't help myself. It was such a damn good sermon." And the Reverend's like, "Sir, please, I can't be behaving this way in church." "Okay, Reverend, but I just wanted you to know that I thought it was so damn good I put $5,000 in that collection plate." And the Reverend's eyes opened wide and he said, "No shit."
That's great.
4 nuns standing in line at the gates of heaven, and Peter asked the first if she's ever sinned. "Well, once I looked at a man's penis," she said. "Put some of this holy water on your eyes and you may enter heaven," Peter told her. And Peter then asked the second nun if she'd ever sinned, and she said, "Well, once I did hold a man's penis." He says, "Well, put your hand in this holy water and you may enter heaven." And then the other nun pushed ahead of the third nun. The fourth one got in front. And Peter's like, "Why did you push ahead in line?" And she said, "Because I want to gargle before she sits in there." A Brit, a Frenchman, and a Russian are viewing the painting of Adam and Eve frolicking in the Garden of Eden. "Look at their reserve, the calm," muses the Brit. "They must be British." "Nonsense," the Frenchman disagrees. "They're naked and so beautiful. Clearly, they're French." "Oh, no way. They've got no clothes and no shelter," the Russian says. "They've only an apple to eat, and they're being told they live in a paradise. Obviously, they're Russian." This little Amish woman and her daughter were riding in an open buggy one cold, blustery January day, and the daughter says to the mom, "Oh, my hands are freezing cold." And the mother says, "Put your hands between your legs. The body heat will warm them up." So the daughter did, and she warmed her hands up. Next day, the daughter was riding in the buggy with her boyfriend, and the boyfriend said, "Oh, my hands are freezing cold." And the daughter said, "Put them between my legs. I'll warm them up." Next day, the boyfriend's driving in the buggy with the daughter. He says, "My nose is freezing cold." And the daughter says, "Put it between my legs. It'll warm him up." And he did, and his nose warmed right up. And the next day, the boyfriend's driving again with the daughter. He says, "My penis is frozen solid." And the next day, the daughter's driving in the buggy with her mom, and she says to her mom, "Have you ever heard of a penis?" And the slightly concerned mother says, "Well, sure, why do you ask?" And the daughter says, "Well, they make one hell of a mess when they thaw out."
Oh, that's an only in Sven joke.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
2 Amish women were digging potatoes in a field one day, and Bessie pulled out 2 huge ones, and she turns to Sarah and says, "You know, Sarah, these potatoes remind me of my Jakey's balls." "Why, you mean that Jakey's balls are that big?" asked Sarah. "Oh, no," said Bessie, "but they are about that dirty." Here are some Amish pickup lines for you, in case you're Amish or ever meet an Amish person that you have the hots for. "Do you come to this barn often?" Does your field need some plowing?" "Why don't you come by around 8, bring a fresh bottle of buttermilk, and we'll sit silently amongst my large family. Would you like to see my well? I totally get shunned for you. Will you churn my butter for me?" It builds community. Will you raise a barn with me? It builds community. "Oh, I know many acres of fertile land in Pennsylvania." "Oh, that modestly drab brown dress really brings out your eyes." Genie in a lamp. An atheist buys an ancient Roman Catholic lamp at an auction, takes it home, begins to polish it, and suddenly a genie appears and says, "I'll grant you 3 wishes, master." And the atheist says, "I wish I could believe in you." And the genie snaps his fingers, and suddenly the atheist believes in him. And the atheist says, "Wow, I wish all atheists would believe in this." And the genie snaps his fingers again, and suddenly all the atheists all over the whole world begin to believe in genies. "What about your 3rd wish?" asked the genie. "Well," says the atheist, "I'll wish for $1 billion. And the genie snaps his fingers for a 3rd time, but nothing happens. "What's wrong?" asks the atheist. And the genie shrugs and says, "It's just because you believe in me doesn't necessarily mean that I really exist."